Shall I go for an introduction?
Yeah, you may as well, yes.
I'll stop talking nonsense, yes.
No,
This is the time to start.
Good morning, Vietnam! I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. Snakes. Why'd it have to be snakes?
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Batman. I am the Father.
In terms of this week, obviously not. It's been a week since we last recorded, which is a bit different from the previous recording and with so much going on. I haven't really watched a lot this week. I don't read a lot of books like you do, me. I don't fire through things. I did finish a bell jar, and Jesus Christ, that was a good laugh.
Nice and cheery. Did you feel uplifted?
Oh, definitely. I thought it was really good, though. I can see why there's a lot of hype around it, and just saying, I'm going to find out the author of the book. I'm about to start, and I can't see the spell. It's Robert Lautner. Quint is a prequel to Jaws.
I saw that in Waterstones the other week. I actually thought I was going to take a picture of it, but I can't remember how I got distracted very easily. Obviously, maybe I saw my favourite pigeon, but I saw that and thought of you.
Yeah, well, I had some vouchers left over for Waterstones and my lottery card, so I thought I'll go jump in and get that, which I did. I'm looking forward to starting that. So I'm kind of between books at the moment. I don't really watch much TV shows these days. I mean, making my way through The Walking Dead, like I said, so I'm going to be recommending that. I'm going to be speaking about that for a while. But I did watch a couple of films during the week. But I watched a few. I watched Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh, yeah. What did you think?
I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really good. I thought the performance was good. I liked the story. I quite liked the twist. I just really enjoyed it. I don't understand all the controversy with the film. I know the production was quite difficult, apparently. But the actual film itself, I thought was really good.
It was quite fraught, apparently, the production, and then there was the whole publicity thing about it. Afterwards, the spitting incident and all that sort of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the publicity, the marketing for that film, I don't think helped it.
No.
Because I don't believe for a second that was all legit. That was a work, because I don't believe they really spat on him and things, and Chris Pine just sat there and took it. I'm not buying any of that at all. That was all... I don't know what the point of it was, but I don't believe it wasn't scripted.
I think so. I think it was.
I just don't know what the point of it was. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed that. I watched a horror film called 645. It's a Groundhog Day type horror film with this couple who are having some troubles. They go to this wee island where I think he grew up, to like Millport basically, and they're gonna go there to kind of reconnect a relationship and stuff. But she gets brutally murdered, and then he gets killed, and he wakes up the next day. It happens again. So it's basically him trying to find out why this is happening. It's quite a slow film, which doesn't really work in terms of the theme, because these kind of films work when they're really fast cut, repeating the thing over and over again. This takes a while to get going. I thought it was okay. It was fine. It was like 90 minutes long. It is quite amateurish at times. The transitions are like straight out of like Windows Movie Maker 96. And things like that do take you out a wee bit. Overall, I thought it was worth watching. And on Friday, I went to see Argyle, sorry, to pronounce it properly. Have any of you seen that?
Not seen it yet, no.
No.
That's a hell of a film to try and talk about. Talk about all over the place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is all over the place. I don't know, again, what tonally it's all over the place. Script-wise, it's all over the place. It's too long. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes, which isn't... I don't mean that's too long for a film. It's too long for this film.
Yeah.
It could have been much shorter. The post-credit scene, which is just confusing, and it's also meant to be the first of a trilogy, and you're thinking, good luck with that one.
You are really, really selling it to me. That plus the fact that it made Henry Cavill look like a toilet brush with that hair.
I have no idea what's going on with his hair in that film. Oh, it's just general. Hell of a cast. Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston, Catherine O'Hara. It's not including John Cena, Henry Cavill. It's a great cast. Sam Rockwell is always excellent.
Yeah, he is the
Bryce
best.
Dallas Howard, brilliant in it. Samuel Jackson's in it as well. It's just a mess of a film at times. It's just, well, it's never messed at heart, but tonally it's all over the place. It's, if you're familiar with Matthew Vaughn's other work, like Kingsman, you can see when he gets it right.
Mm-hmm.
And with here, he tries to replicate the same idea with different results. But that's a film going to our streaming top is an Apple original that they put in the cinema first.
Mm-hmm. They tend to do that, Apple. Mm-hmm. They have, like they did it with Killers of the Flower Moon as well, obviously stuck that into cinemas to get that revenue. They don't seem to be precious about showing it only on the streaming service or even showing it first when it comes to streaming, because Killers of the Flower Moon was available to buy and rent before it actually came on Apple. So
yeah, but that was also, I think it was also an Oscar ploy, that one as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
With this, I wonder if I'll try to recoup some of that $200 million budget.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's a lot of money for a film to put straight on streaming. So yeah. But go for you, John. What have you been up to recently? You're usually up to stuff.
Usually, I've been watching bits and pieces. I mentioned Masters of the Air earlier. I watched maybe about 3 or 4 episodes of that on the trot, which is really good. It's Apple TV again, and if you watch enough stuff on Apple TV, you get a sort of idea of what they're like. I think they've got some sort of filter that they put on everything, and it just looks so glossy and nice. And Masters of the Air is no different. It's about a bomber group, an American bomber group in the Second World War. It's similar sort of idea to the Pacific and Band of Brothers. It's the same team that has made it, and Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks are exec producers, and they have been across the piece in other ones. Other ones were HBO.
So is this like a trilogy then, Land, Sea and Air? Is that them covering all?
Yeah,
right. Okay.
I think so. I think it's like sort of a loose trilogy like that, but it's very good, and it obviously has Barry Keoghan in it, along with like sort of a multitude. It's like a cast of thousands with these things, and it's very well done, and it's splendid, really good. Also watched, it was something that you'd mentioned last week, Thomas, Louder Milk.
Yes.
I had actually just started watching that, and it's like 30 minutes long each episode, so it's like you can watch 3 or 4 of them at a time. That's hilarious. It's absolutely brilliant. Such a good wee drama. I didn't know anything about it beforehand, and it only came up on my, the list, when you go into Netflix at first, and it gives you sort of stuff that you might like based on the algorithm of what you've watched before.
I'll not see what mine are.
Well, so that popped up, and I started watching it, and it's really good. And there's like wee sort of recurring themes, like when they talk to, he stops these 2 guys in the streets, these 2 hipsters, and he calls them like Civil War reenactors because they got the big beards, and he says, well, if you're not, you must be lumberjacks because you're wearing like the plaid shirts. And he comes up, what was the band name? He comes up for the Travelling Lumberjacks of the Confederacy, and the guy goes, that's actually quite a good name for a band. And then like 2 episodes later, somebody produces a CD from his cousin's band, and it's the name. He's gone, bastards. It's really good. I've nearly finished the first season of that, so I really enjoying that. It's good fun. What else? I think, did I mention Mr. and Mrs. Smith last week?
Yeah,
I did. Did I mention it or not? Yeah. Okay, right. Fair enough.
Did you recognise that?
or maybe you just said it in the chat. I know you're watching it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not because I've been standing outside your living room. Like.
Yeah. You're not doing an ollie and watching things.
No.
From inside the door. So that's really good as well. It's loosely based on the film, but it's taking these 2 people who actually, they both know each other as a spy, assassin, hitman, hitwoman type of thing. And it's quite funny. It's actually pretty good. I don't know where it's going to go. It's only 6 episodes, but I don't really know where it's going to go in terms of, does it have legs going forward? But at the moment, enjoying it, quite nice. Film-wise, had another Kirky Picture Palace yesterday. The last one was about a month ago, so we had one yesterday, and it was the Paw Patrol movie for young kids, which was actually pretty decent. It squarely aimed at them. I'd never seen Paw Patrol because my children are far too old for that sort of stuff anymore, which I am eternally grateful.
What was the underlying message, though? What was the themes? What was it trying to say?
It was trying to say that teamwork is everything, and you should really,
there we go.
Look to your friends for support and guidance. And it was very standard. One of the team didn't have their powers properly, that kind of things. But it's what it is. 90 minutes.
What's his thoughts in a capitalist society?
Yeah, yeah, and there was obviously a graveyard scene where for one of the pups lies down in a freshly dug grave, which most of the children didn't quite get that, but I could see where it was going. And also the second film in that was Wonka, which I had never seen up until this point, and that was brilliant. That was a really good film. I went in kind of blind to it. I knew who had made it and everything, but I didn't want to get sort of too excited about it. And then when I actually watched it, and it's pretty much a full-blown musical. There's a lot of musical numbers in it. It's one of these films that you just call delightful. It's really, really good. And Hugh Grant as the Oompa Loompa is just fantastic. He's so dry, and they've made the Oompa Loompa in this one about 18 inches tall. It's really, really tiny. It's quite disconcerting seeing Hugh Grant's old craggy face on this wee tiny body with the orange face and the green hair. But yeah, I would recommend watching it. It's quite a bit of a feel-good film, and it's nice, and it's like a host of like British acting and comedy talent in it as well, because obviously Simon Farnaby was the writer and Paul King was the director. So it's like, the two main guys behind Paddington 1 and 2. So it works really well. It's quite interested in that. I saw Dune Part 2 as well. And it lives up to the expectations, definitely. I had watched Dune Part 1 last Sunday just to refresh myself, and if you're going to go and see it, I would recommend that you do watch the first part again, because the second part just takes off right from where it left off at the end of the first part, and it doesn't, there's maybe a wee 25-30 second, not even a recap, it's just a kind of statement of a few facts that have come on by one of the newer characters, the Emperor's daughter, because the whole Emperor and his whole court are all involved in the second part of it, as it is in the book. But you shouldn't know what's going on, and you get obviously a lot of that from the first film, but it's great. It looks fantastic. It's fantastic performances. There's a lot more action in this one, just due to the nature, obviously, the culmination of the whole first part, and it's just amazing. It's brilliant, and it's really good soundtrack and just everything. And I can't get that image out of my head, by the way, of the popcorn mug, the popcorn tub with the worm. It's just
sandworm bucket.
Yeah. Oh man, disgusting. But yeah, it was really good. And lastly, I saw a horror film from 1971 called The Mephisto Waltz. I don't know if you've seen that. It's Alan Alda and Jacqueline Bisset and Kurt Jungers you will know Kurt from various German language films from the 60s, 70s and 80s. Is very well known. But this is about a guy, an old guy who's a Satanist, and he wants to transfer his spirit into the body of a younger man, Alan Alda, who was, this is 1971, so this is sort of pre-MASH and everything as well. And he's like a famous pianist as well. And it's really creepy. And it's really creepy in a sort of 1970s horror kind of way. So you don't get a lot of horror on screen. It's all sort of psychological, everything. And it's a Quinn Martin production as well, which is just fantastic. He was the guy behind the likes of The Streets of San Francisco and a lot of these early sort of cop shows. And it always come on, The Streets of San Francisco, a Quinn Martin production. So it was like a branding. So when that came on, I was like, oh, nice. Because I really love the Streets of San Francisco as well. It was one of these shows that they used to show at stupid o'clock in the morning. You know, when they started showing like programs 24 hours a day. And it was like something like Channel 4 or Channel 5 or something. And it was like at 6 o'clock in the morning, they would show the Streets of San Francisco. And I used to work shifts. And for the last hour of the shift, I put the telly on and watched the Streets of San Francisco because there was no work to do. You were just sort of hanging about, waiting for the next guys to come in. And it's just brilliant. You know, it's a very early Michael Douglas performance as well, which is always nice. It was an excellent wee film. It was on that Talking Pictures TV channel.
Oh, yeah.
Which they show lots of 60s, 70s, even earlier films, like lots of British stuff, but they've increased their catalogue to like bring in a lot of these American films and things like that as well from various sort of periods like the 70s. So it's excellent. It's really good. I think that's about it. Apart from I'm still reading Cinema Speculation, the Tarantino book as well, just going through that, just reading a chapter or two at a time, and that's really a good, it's almost like an education, because again, it's a lot of the films from his formative years, and he spent so much time going to like double bills of things, and he references so many different films. Each chapter is on either a particular filmmaker or actor, or it may be a particular film. And when he talks about a film, he talks about the previous films that led up to why people were doing all that. It's excellent. You should give it a read if you get the chance. It's really, really good. Really, really informative as well. Yeah, that's about it. You know, it's been, well, as I say, it's most of the stuff is serial stuff, so you tend to watch quite a lot of it. You know, keeps me busy. Stops me from crying.
You've been watching much, Mary?
I have read more than I have watched. So I read Black Butterflies by Priscilla Morris, which is an account of how the Bosnian War started. It's a fictionalized account. I also read The Power of Geography by Tim Marshall, which I really loved. Prisoners of Geography, which is the first book in the sequence. And this is basically just explaining just how we're all fucked, really, as individual nations, as part of the EU, as part of the transatlantic trade. It's fascinating, though, because his knowledge is incredible, and he's obviously very good at sort of explaining historical things, but also charting how things might look in the future. And then I also read Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll, which is, again, a fictionalized retelling of some of the Ted Bundy murders, but it never actually says that's who it is. He's always referred to as the defendant. And it's really about sort of picking apart the myth of who he was, i.e. he wasn't this like charismatic, handsome lawyer. He was basically just kind of one of the original incels sort of things. So I find that really interesting. In terms of what I've watched, I did watch 2 Glasgow Film Festival films, one called The G, which, spoilers, wasn't great, but I also watched a Czech film called Mr. and Mrs. Stodola, which is based on a true crime spree of a couple in a small Czech village in the early 2000s who went about robbing and murdering old people. And if you really want to look at psychopaths and the power dynamic shifting between two people, highly, highly recommend that. Other than that, I have just been binge watching Drive to Survive because I'm very excited that the Formula One's back next weekend. So nothing highbrow, basically.
It's not a prerequisite. Yeah,
exactly. Hey, hello.
When do you finish?
Wednesday, so laptop gets slammed shut at 5:01 p.m. straight to the opening gala, and then not back for like 10 days. I'm so excited.
Nice.
That'll be good. No, there's a lot, and I also booked a ticket to go and see The Zone of Interest because that cinema chain that I can't pronounce, VUE.
View.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you not remember I had this whole big thing where I thought it was pronounced Vu?
Yes.
Because I thought it was French, yeah. So I'm not saying it out loud. So anyways,
I'm gonna go and see that Zone of Interest. I can afford it. I'm going to the View cinema.
Yeah, and the Vu. Because they're doing
the View.
Oh no, I can't complain about anyone else getting anything wrong. So yeah, they're doing an extended run of all the Oscar nominees, and I couldn't find it on anywhere else, so I'm going to slot at that in while I'm festivaling as well to go and see that. So that's quite good. I've never been there before, but I think people have said it's quite a nice cinema. So
where was it? Sorry,
Phoenix Centre.
Yeah, I've not been to that one. I've been to the one up at the Fort, and it's quite nice. I imagine it's got a similar layout, you know.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, like you could get like fancy seats and stuff like that, but I'm not that fussed. So,
well, the one at the Fort, I don't know if you remember. You've been to the one at the Fort, haven't you, John?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. They've got the tiered seating and prices, but you look at it, you actually go in, you go, I'm not noticing much difference in the tiered pricing here.
So it's not like Odeon VIP where you get like a fancy, or Cineworld VIP where you get like a fancier shade or anything. Then no.
Maybe I've noticed. I just
There
noticed
is.
on the back.
Yeah,
Right.
there is the fancier seats are the ones just there's maybe 2 rows of them in the middle, but some of the cinemas are really small, so it doesn't really make any difference because the other seats are actually quite nice as well. So yeah.
Is that in comparison to you guys' favourite cinema, the Forge?
Nothing compares to the Forge.
Nothing compares to the Forge. We need to kind of sit at an angle that's not good for your spine to get comfy.
You make it sound like you're given buckets to sit on.
To be fair, the bigger screens are not too bad. I think 1, 2, and 3, all right. But see 5 and 6, they're like really small and they're at quite a steep slope. So if
you better hope you don't drop anything at the back. So
yeah, because in most cinemas I tend to sit row D or E, just somewhere relatively near the front. But if you're sitting there in that particular cinema, like Cinema 6, you're almost right at the screen. It's really, really close, and it's in a big angle, and you're like hurting your neck looking up at it, so you need to sit further back. So it's in dire need of probably firebombing more than anything else. But I don't think that would be just a bit too suspicious if it caught fire and there was nobody in the building, you know.
Oh, let's be honest, if that catches fire, there'll be student flat sale in a week.
Yeah, aye.
Oh, do you know what the thing is? I feel kind of like, because obviously Cineworld are having their own sort of share of problems and stuff like that, but I feel really bad in particular because I was walking through town last week and I was just thinking, like, well, one, it's good that the scaffolding's off the GFT because they can have their proper red carpet this year. But see, when you actually walk down Sucky Hall Street, like, so much of it is dug up, and I feel like slightly embarrassed that we've got like good people coming to the city to do their films and stuff like that, and the actual street, not the cinema's lovely, but the streets a tip.
Oh yeah. It's horrible, that street now. Just even the bits where there's no roadworks or anything, or stuff getting dug up, which just seems to be going on eternally. It's just this horrible street now. I don't know what's happened.
Well, the thing is, they dug up all the trees that were there, and then because they said they were creating a green space. So I was like, were the trees not the were they not the green space? No. I just feel for the shops and stuff like that. Like even like a few weeks ago, I wanted to literally go from Waterstones to Forbidden Planet, which is like 6 steps away, but because there's the big dividing roadworks in the middle, you have to go all the way back up and round, and it doesn't really leave a good impression, does it? When it just looks so janky.
No.
I mean, if you want to go to Waterstones to Forbidden Planet, you need to pass about 5 of the American candy stores, 3 town shops, and a couple of the Scotland trinkets shops that sell just everything.
Which all of these have to be like Better Call Saul fronts for.
Oh yeah, 100%. You're not seeing so much crime in one street.
So, but yeah, no, I can't wait to finish up, and I actually really wanted to go and see that Love Lies Bleeding anyway. So the fact that that's the opening gala is quite exciting. So.
It's like I was saying last week, I was trying to think of the films that are coming out this year. I'm just totally out the look. Unless I'm seeing a trailer for it, I just don't have a clue what's going on.
Yep. Life getting in the way, is it?
Pretty much, aye.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
The thing is, I think with, as I'm sure we'll come on to, with a lot of films doing deals with streamer services, actually, if you are sort of time short and can't physically get to a cinema, there is a huge chance that within, say, 2 weeks of something being in the cinema, it's going to be on a platform. Soon enough.
I know, and as much there's a convenience to that, but I also don't like it.
No, I'm the same.
I don't like the way it's. I know we're all in the same page. We'll talk about it in more detail, but I definitely don't like the way that's going. I mean, American Fiction is going to be on Amazon Prime soon. I can't even remember seeing it listed in the cinema. I know it was out.
I didn't
it was
see
only a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Which is weird because again, it's one of the biggies in inverted commas, and that's why the Zone of Interest finished just before the BAFTAs, and that's why I was quite pleased to see that certain films, obviously that are Oscar nominated, are getting an extended run, because I feel like a lot of the films that are nominated this year, I would argue, are maybe sort of traditionally smaller films that maybe wouldn't find an audience in a Cineworld or an Odeon or whatever. So I'm actually quite glad they're getting a wee extended run, and there's a chance to go and see them in the cinema, which is obviously what they're they're made for. There's a big difference between a film that's made for the cinema and a film that's made for a streamer, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, though, that they're publicising these films and say, come along and see them for a $5. The films that have already been out and had their theatrical run, but the only way they can sell them is because they're up for awards and they're in the sort of public consciousness at the moment. I know we spoke about that last week in terms of awards. It's usually to provide a bump for some of these films, because that's why a lot of them come out sort of January time anyway, towards the end of the year, so they are still reasonably relevant. But yeah, it is a bit rich coming from the likes of Cineworld saying, yeah, come along and see these films that we showed for maybe 6 days. Yeah.
Well, speaking of rich, that's finally going to lead on to our topic in theme and film of today.
John's got his port glass at the ready.
No, sorry, just a tall glass.
All right, okay. A highball?
No, afraid not. It's ginger cordial from Marks and Spencer's. It's very nice.
So it's from Marks and Spencer's, so just to be clear, it's not an Aldi.
No, they couldn't get it. I've only ever seen it in Marks and Spencer's. I've never seen it anywhere else. So
you've not seen an Aldi in your life.
Oh, you would be surprised, my friend.
You would love Aldi. You go in for some beans and you get like a surfboard and a lamp.
Yeah. Oh, that's the old joke, isn't it? It's Equestrian Week, you know. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, but actually hot lasagna. Remember that scandal a few years ago?
Yeah.
Just people forgot about that. Pandemic happened. Forgot we were eating horse.
Yep.
Whereas, see, when we went to Reykjavik, they were like, oh, these are delicacies that people used to eat, but we don't eat now. They're kind of like a touristy thing. So it was like puffin, fermented shark. And the other one was horse. And I was like, oh, a few years ago, everyone else was losing their mind over this, but you guys must just be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I went to the Kubla Khan restaurant years ago, and we're eating all these kind of exotic meats. But they were advertised as such.
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew it was kangaroo or whatever it was. So it wasn't a surprise.
You know, it's like, if I'm getting a zebra lasagna, I wanted to at least say that on the packaging.
I liked Kubla Khan's. I thought it was pretty decent. Went there a couple of times.
I liked it as well. I like the fact that they made it up in front of you as well. And
yeah, aye. You ever been? Did you ever go, Mary?
No, I remember the restaurant though. I distinctly remember it was the top in Sucky Hall Street, wasn't it?
No, Merchant City.
Merchant City. Oh, what am I thinking of?
You think of that guy in the alley again, just cooking pigeon?
Not my wee favourite pigeon at Central, the one that's missing a foot and one of its eyes is hanging out. That's been going on the go for years. It's my wee favourite pigeon. This is just the world's hardest pigeon.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember it, but I think that Viva Brazil sounds like a similar concept, although I believe the one in town is also shutting down. Bothwell Street, I think. Don't ask me actually, because I don't know where anything is. Like a few weeks ago, a woman asked me how to get to Buchanan Street bus station, and I had to tell her I wasn't from Glasgow, and that's not the first time I've done that to someone because I just don't know where anything is. Did you say it with a Mexican accent? Start showing their ID. No, the thing is, I just say it in this accent, like the one that I have, but it's so obvious that I definitely do come from Glasgow, so it has garnered you like, are you sure? So if you're trying to plan a sort of like East Coast accent, just say Ken at the end of your thing. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what anything is, Ken. Don't know what it is, like, Ken.
But you're never going to see this person again, so why not just tell them something? And make it far away from where you are so that they're going to come back.
Because 10 years from now, May's going to lie in bed 2 a.m, wake up and go, oh man, remember that time Chris went back to my cave that we were in the wrong directions.
100%. And it would just haunt me forever. So yeah, I'd rather just say, I'm really sorry, I don't actually know where I'm not from here. Yeah, I mean, what could have happened is, she points to a random direction. This woman walks down this alley, gets murdered. Yeah, that's exactly what would happen. Yeah. By the guy cooking pigeon. The guy cooking pigeon, her family distraught, her husband kills himself because he can't live without her. The kids get taken into care. The whole family's lives are ruined because Mary pointed the wrong way. And there's a news report that says the last thing she texted her husband was, I'm just going to ask somebody for directions. Yeah, this wee blonde lassie looks helpful in things.
met this wee Spanish woman, and she was like, so helpful to me.
Oh god. Yeah, no one asked me for directions ever. I don't know where anything is. I memorize like points that I have to go to, so it's like take 2 lefts and then walk for 5 minutes. Then so I don't actually know where anything is.
Do you remember where you were at this point?
I just walked out of work that street that's like so Costa's here, and it's the big long street that's like on quite a big hill.
Do you like round the corner for the place basically?
No, I was round the corner from my work, not round the corner from Buchanan Street bus station.
We see that big hill. That's the way you go.
All right.
Now that we've established that Mary has murdered some women.
Yeah.
And inadvertently, who may add.
Responsible for another death. Yeah.
Do you know what the thing is? So I was reading a book recently, and it was technically it was about the whole Ted Bundy murder spree thing, but the woman in the book was saying like how much she's just somebody who pays attention in life, and how she was able to give the police like really accurate descriptions of like clothes and hair and eye color and all that sort of thing. And all I could think was, I'm one of these people that really doesn't pay attention to the world around me when I'm out and about. So I would be like the worst police eyewitness ever, because I'd like, don't know what street I'm in, don't know what day it is, couldn't tell you what somebody was wearing. And everyone is really tall to me because I'm so short, so I couldn't even give an accurate height description. So don't commit crimes in front of me either, because, well, actually, maybe you would want to commit crimes in front of me because I would be useless.
Just don't commit crimes with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you saying you wouldn't be a credible witness? So you're like, and so, madam, where did the crime happen? Well, it was Glasgow. Yeah. There was a Costa.
I was on a hill because I had to take my heels off and swap for my flats. I would know that, but apart from that, no, nothing.
I remember there was a pigeon nearby. Very distinctive.
but not my favourite pigeon. And they were like, right, you've just told us you've got a favourite pigeon, get out. Oh dear.